time. But for now, it's time to head over to the United States. And we're going to be talking about the Jubilee. It's Alexandra Hudson, US journalist and author of Against Politeness in Indianapolis. Good morning.
Good morning, Petrie. It's great to be with you.
It's good to be with you. Now, just because you're a journalist, I don't know, you probably weren't briefed on this, but I just want to ask you about the latest shooting. Have you heard anything about that?
I don't actually know.
No, it's literally only just broken. So I will leave it there. So I don't want to push you on that because I know that you weren't briefed on that question. But the Queen, let me ask you about this, because today the Queen's celebration for 70 years on the throne starts in earnest. We have a 4-day holiday. But what's America doing about this? Is the US in thrall to this?
You know, they are. You might be surprised. They are. ABC News is streaming it. The concert on Saturday. Fox News is doing special streaming as of today. The Wall Street Journal had an editorial calling the Queen's Platinum Jubilee her reign of dignity. So there is a lot of enthusiasm and excitement, maybe more than many across the pond might have been expecting.
Yes, certainly. I mean, you do have, you know, a couple of runaways living in the United States now, those that have left the royal family in terms of official duties. Has that in any way heightened interest in the British royalty when you have two of them living on American soil? Or 4 of them, actually, with the kids.
Right. America loves drama. We love to see dramas unfold in real time, especially our drama, but especially when it's not our drama as well. But I think that we were very much riveted by the Prince Harry, Meghan Markle narrative, because it in many ways is emblematic of America's founding narrative, just kind of the overt rejection of the monarchy, the intentional separation from England, and embracing kind of the colony, the new ideals of egalitarianism and democracy. But despite the fact that that's how America was founded, as you can tell, we're still very much riveted by the Queen, by all things English monarchy. Just as recently as February, there was the Queen held a 61% approval rating amongst Americans.
Wow.
We still, which is, you know, any politician anywhere would be enviable of this kind of approval rating.
Would, yeah.
So at the same, it kind of gets to a tension at the core of the American psyche. On one hand, we were founded on anti-monarchical, anti-aristocratic ideals, Republican Democratic ideals, but we still find ourselves quite intrigued by them.
Is it on the basis, though, of almost like soap opera? Because I know that The Crown, I'm not calling that a soap opera, but the Netflix series, which has sort of tracked the life of the Queen from when she was first crowned up until, I think, modern day. They're filming at the moment. That was very popular in the States, wasn't it?
Of course. And Netflix invested an incredible amount of resources into that. I think I read somewhere that it was the most expensive film produced in like the last, or miniseries rather, produced in like the last, in like recent history. So yes, enormously popular. And I mean, the British interest in the monarchy again goes back to America's founding, when America was deciding what to call our president, John Adams, one of America's founding father, actually wanted to call the president His Majesty, and of course, wow. George Washington was our first president, and George Washington said, sorry, absolutely not. I'm not going to be His Majesty George once again. So there's a whole literature on John Adams's title campaign. But yes, so there was John Adams' title campaign. There were attempts to reestablish aristocratic norms and tastes and protocols, cultivating the parlor and just trying to harness these aspirations of gentility and trying to reconcile that with, again, these Republican ideals. And so even today, we don't have Windsors in America, but we have created these sort of political dynasties.
Yeah.
We have the Kennedys, we have the Clintons, we have the Bushes, and we kind of look to those as the kind of surrogate monarchs in our country.
The thing is with the real monarch that we have, that she's been around for a very long time, so you've had a chance to get to know her, if you like, as well as us. But we do this pomp and ceremony better than anyone in the world. I mean, you know, the trooping of the colour tomorrow is stunning. The colours, the actual soldiers, the actual horses, the training, the precision. You know, there'll be a band. I love a marching band, I have to say, a military marching band. And so we do it well. We do, our spectacles are spectacular.
Yes. I do love the British spectacle. I remember when I was a grad student in London, I did my master's at the London School of Economics, and I was there on a Rotary scholarship, and one of my Rotarians at my host Rotary Club in London invited me to the Royal Ascot. And I remember leading up to Ascot, there was propaganda, paraphernalia all over the tube, plastered everywhere, pageantry like nowhere else, pomp and circumstance like nowhere else. And it was just, embracing it. And that was the one time I was in England where I was within, 5 feet of the Queen. I was there on the opening, I think it was the opening day where she rode by. And so that was a wonderful, wonderful experience. A very British experience.
So how many Americans do you think will be watching tomorrow? I believe that our own Piers Morgan is doing something for Fox, but I think that it will be beautiful. It will be stunning, and of course we've got the Sussexes back here with their kids. Harry and Meghan are here, so it'll be interesting again to see them in a sort of a royal environment.
Yes, I agree. I don't have an exact number as to how many people will be tuning in, but I do know that, again, there's something about the monarchy that captures the kind of American imagination. We don't have a rich and deep history in America. We're a very new country. And I, for example, I value tradition. That's why I wanted to, and I want to raise my family to value tradition too. So my son and I had a little bit of a tea party that I posted about on social media to just enjoy. It's not our monarchy in America, but it is the tradition that we have emerged from, and I think for that reason alone, it's worth respecting and commemorating. And she's Americans love the allure, the elegance, the refinement, the sophistication, the beauty. Exactly what you said. Spectacle is maybe the pejorative term, but the beauty and the elegance of the royal family. And we don't have that. A lot of our political figures are more, reality TV than the elegance.
Brash, I'm going to say.
That's right.
What about the tea parties? Will there be much in the way of because that traditional English tea, you have your tea and your cakes and your sandwiches, and it's all rather lovely. I always have a glass of champagne as well. But the British tea parties, are they going to be happening in the US? I mean, you've got a lot of British expats there who presumably are going to try and do something like this.
I actually can't speak to that. I tried to get a hold of several friends, several expat friends today to see what they were doing, and they either weren't doing anything or didn't respond. So I don't know if that's emblematic. I don't know if that's representative. Maybe being across the pond has distanced them from it a little bit. But I know that in our family, we do respect tradition. We respect history, especially history of England, history of the continent, and really wanted to just commemorate the day in that way.
But I have to ask you about your cucumber sandwich etiquette. Do you remember?
We didn't go that far today. We did a blueberry and apple pie that my son absolutely devoured. He really enjoyed that. And
well, you have to cut. It's got to be white bread. It's got to be white bread.
Yes.
It's got to be in triangles. You've got to take the skin off the cucumber and slice it so thinly you can see through it, and you've got to take the crusts off the sandwiches. And then, and there's only butter and cucumber in there. That's it.
No cream cheese. Interesting.
No.
Okay.
No.
Excellent. We need to create a little graphic for this. I think that the 4-step perfect cucumber sandwich,
That's
that would be great. If your team can get on that, I'll disseminate.
That is how you make a proper cucumber sandwich. Anyway, listen, I hope you enjoy the Jubilee. We all will. And it's absolutely lovely to talk to you. So thank you for joining me this morning.
Thank you, Petrie.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and you. Have a lovely time. Alexandra Hudson there, US journalist and author of Against Politeness in Indianapolis.